Happy Sunday, everyone. I'm Christine. This is my channel, Hollishandscreate. Hope you're having a great day. This is a channel about cross stitch. Today, that'll be all we talk about is cross stitch. If you are new here and you've kind of wandered in, I hope that you'll watch for a little while, maybe be inspired. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for sticking with me and maybe coming back. I appreciate that very much. But again, thank you to you all. Hope everyone is doing well on this wonderful Sunday. It's June, let's see, what day is it? It is June 6th, and this is episode number 26. So let's get down to it. Today, I'm going to show you some whips, what I've been working on. I'm going to show you a few more of the vintage whips that I picked up in my haul. If you watched my last video, you saw a kind of a sampling of samplers that the lady that I purchased her collection had worked on. And I'm going to show you, let's see, I've got a couple of finishes. I've got one FFO, a bit of haul, some giveaway news, and a small shop update at the end. So today I'm kind of coming to you from a little bit different vantage point. You know, when you get everything all spread out, I've got so much stuff around me and I needed to kind of make better use of my space. So I'm kind of turned a little bit so that I've got full use of the table lengthwise. And it's probably a little nicer view, you know, out the back. Trees, mostly trees. So I did have to change out my my plant that's back here. I actually, my husband and I bought this antique tiger oak plant stand. And so I put it here and changed out the ponytail palm because the cats will go after the palm like there's nobody's business. I guess it's similar enough to grass for them that they just want to eat it. Now, a ponytail palm is not dangerous to cats, so no one worry about that. This is a prayer plant. It also is cat friendly, but they don't mess with it at all. So I guess because the leaves are big and wide, you know, they're just not attracted to it the way they are with the ponytail palm. So the ponytail palm got relocated into a different area that's in a more freestanding area where they don't have a window ledge that they can jump, you know, up onto and then, you know, chomp on my ponytail. So anyway, so we kind of switched some things out. Okay, let's get to business. So the last time that I spoke with you, it was May 15th, so it's been 3 weeks. And, you know, looking at my book, I was like, you know, kind of proud of myself for getting as much done that I did. Doing a little less unpacking, a little more stitching in the evenings, which I'm happy about, believe me. Though I do still have some unpacking to get done. So the first thing I'm going to show you, you know, as we know, May was my new start for Sarah Brown, which was my tribute sampler for my brother, Dale. And here it's a Scarlet from the Scarlet letter. I'll show that to you. So that's, kind of see that really there. So I counted up, and Sarah has about 90 motifs, and that's with me dividing the house, say calling that 2, calling a couple of the big things, you know, 2, and I counted it all up. So I kind of figured my goal would be to finish Sarah by May 22nd of next year. That's the 15th anniversary of my brother's passing. And so I kind of would like to have that finished and by then. So I figured it out that if I did about 7 motifs in a month, I can have it finished. So wish me luck. I hope I can get this done. Sarah, the counting, I can only do that much in a month, if that. The counting is a little wonky. The border is all over the place. There are these border flowers that you'll see, and typically you would think that they would be, you know, an even number, right? But there's 39. It's like she got into one corner and then just decided, I'm not doing one. So the counting is a little, you know, you have to count and recount because it's not the same. You can't get into a good rhythm. So, but I still love the colors, and I still, you know, really am enjoying stitching on it. Anyway, so this is the progress that I made for the month of May. So I was really happy about it, and especially to get this big basket done. Now I'm stitching Sarah on, let's see, 40 count Dusty Road. And that is a Seraphim fabric. So I really, really am enjoying this. So my next thing to show you, Lori, who is Mischievous Stitches, sweet lady, and I really love watching her videos, has started a hashtag that's, I think it might be a red thread before bed or something like that. I'm not doing my red thread before bed, but I am doing a red thread to start out my day. But I'm doing one a day. And if you're doing a monochromatic, this really works well. And I mean, her whole goal, like she said, was to kind of kick herself in the rear to get this, you know, to get this sampler completely finished. And I was like, you know, I really love that. And last year when Pandemic came out from Long Dog, everybody was kind of jumping on that board, you know, that bandwagon. And, you know, I kind of was like, oh, you know, I want to do something like that too. And I went to the Long Dog site and I found another sampler that I actually loved much better. And this one's called Paradigm Found. And I just, you know, I love it that it's, you know, you've got your alphabet at the top, but then it says faith, hope, charity. I think that's it. Yeah, faith, hope, and charity built in. And so I actually started this one. Now, like a lot of projects, when you kind of jump on a, you know, a bandwagon, what I had done was I had done this little corner and that was it. And so it's been sitting for a year. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to pull this out and I'm going to do one thread in the morning. I'm stitching on Lakeside Vintage Butter Pecan. I believe it's a 40 count. And the threads that I'm using, and you can see now mine is not a traditional red, like a Christmas red or something like that. Mine is Current by Gentle Art, but it is still a red. And you can kind of see how that color changes in there. I really love it. So I started with her on May 16th. So it's been, what, 14 and today's 6, so 20 days. And in 20 days, I've gone from this tiny little corner here all the way across up and finished the peacock. And I really love it. I don't know if I was just stitching on this, if I would just stitch on this only. But doing the one thread, and actually on Sundays I allow myself 2 threads a day, I just feel like I can see the progress, and I don't know, I love it more, and it's working out really good, and I'm very happy with it. So that one gets touched every morning. Next I have Ann Thomas 1854, which we affectionately refer to as Walter. And let me get the pattern out. I didn't get the pattern out of the bag. Here's Ann Thomas. And of course the star of the show is Walter. And isn't that beautiful? It's just such a beautiful, beautiful piece. And I'm not gonna pull out all the colors. It's like got 3 huge rings. I'm doing it with DMCs, and I'm stitching on Chocolate Milk, Fabrics by Stephanie, and 1 thread DMC, and this is my progress. So since I showed you last, I've done all of this, and a little bit I've extended his tail work out down here. Sometimes you just kind of need to go a little further so that you get some perspective, you know, on the next section. So I'm not finishing him yet. He's kind of the dessert. So I do a little bit, and then I work on some flowers or some leaves. The flowers are a little bit like dessert as well. The leaf work can be a little tedious, and it is considered almost a confetti piece because you're really changing threads quite a lot. So what I do is I take a look at the section I'm going to be working on for the evening. I kind of look to see what colors are primarily in that, and then I thread up, you know, 3 or 4 needles with those colors, so that I can just kind of quickly grab that needle, you know, tie off, grab that needle, and I'm not constantly, you know, pulling everything out of one needle, rethreading that needle, and that kind of thing. So, but anyway, I really, really love Walter. He's a beautiful boy, beautiful boy. Walter we stitch him on Wednesdays. I'm stitching with Becky, Socks for Mom, and it's hashtag Walter Wednesday Sal. If you'd like to join in, if you happen to have, you know, Ann Thomas on the go already, or you've got, you know, got her kitted, jump in and join us. It's a no rules Sal. We only stitch on Wednesdays most of the time, and sometimes it's not even every Wednesday. But it is kind of fun to just, you know, to stitch along with someone and see, you know, see everybody's progress. So the next thing that I was working on, which I'm going to show you, is actually a finish as well. I did show you this kit last time, and that I was almost finished with it. And this is Whale Watch. This was a kit from Chessie Me. And I think it just turned out so cute. So I got the interfacing, you know, had ironed that on the back, and was digging around for fabric, because I was thinking, well, could I do a little pillow? Could I do kind of maybe a little hanging finish, you know, mounted on a board, but maybe another board behind that, and make, you know, hang it. You know, wasn't sure, but I couldn't find any fabric in my stash, believe it or not, which I've got a ton, that I really loved. And yesterday, it was the first Saturday of the month, there's a group of stitchers that meet at Quilter Station here in Lee Summit, which is a suburb of Kansas City. Just a fantastic shop. If you ever get the chance to go to Quilter Station, you must go. It's just a fantastic shop. When we lived up here before, I had gone down a couple of times to that shop, but we live on the north side and Lee Summit's on the south side of Kansas City, so I didn't go down real often. But anyway, when I found out that the group was stitching there the first Saturday of the month, I was very excited about that. Not only to go to Quilter Station, but also, you know, to get to meet some people. And so yesterday was my first time to go, and it was very nice. Just a super, super nice day, and with just a lot of lovely stitchers. And so part of the way through, we meet for from 10 to 2, and some people halfway through kind of grab some lunch, and they can either order in or walk down to just a couple of places close by and get something. And I was one of the ladies that was there, happens to live in the same area as me. is Christy Green, who's Daisy K's Primitives. I'm sure you've probably watched her on FlossTube. She just very inspirational decor, primitive decor. Her house is beautiful from the pictures that I've seen. Anyway, she was there yesterday, and that was only her second time to go to the group. And so partway through, we kind of got up and perused the shop. You could spend hours in the shop. And I happened to be kind of looking for some fabric in mind for, you know, for Whale Watch, and found this. And when I saw that, I was just like, that is the perfect fabric. So I got back late yesterday afternoon. I did not have a chance to finish it yet, but I'm very excited because, I mean, if you look, the color of this fabric is just almost a dead-on match for the color. Now, this is a Gloriana Arctic Blue, and it matches perfectly. So I was very excited about that. So hopefully this afternoon, I'll have a little bit of time and see if I can't fully finish Whale Watch. So that's pretty exciting. So that was finish number 5 for this year for me. And then I was like, okay, so I finished that. I went to my WIP book and kind of started looking and thought, all right, what have I got that's, you know, I can get finished real quick? Well, I don't know why I hadn't finished this, but Sweet Finch, which was a kit from Samplers Not Forgotten, I pulled that one out and literally finished it in about half an hour. I don't know what in the world I was thinking, not having finished it already. Hopefully you can see that. Well, let me put it on a board, see if that, oh, nope. Okay, little Miss Sadie thinks that she wants to join. Okay, where are you going? Where are you going? Oh, she wants to lay right in the middle of my book. Okay. But anyway, here is Sweet Finch. I'm not good at doing them. Maybe I should learn to do the over the head thing like Nicole does. But there is Sweet Finch. So I finished that up. And like I said, it took me, you know, maybe half an hour in just one evening. The nice thing about getting some of these little projects, you know, finished is I get the project bag that it's residing in back into the rotation, which is really nice. So I thought, you know, I don't need to be buying new bags, though I still do. I just need to be finishing what's in my project bags. So that one, I probably will finish as a little pillow to put into my trencher bowl for summertime. But it's a really cute finish. So and that was number 6. So since I got that one finished, I was like, okay, let's go to the WIP list again, and what would be something else that I am interested in stitching that's not too far away from being finished. And so I pulled out this next one. Let me grab the pattern for you to see. This one is Love Thy Neighbor from Plum Street Samplers. Isn't that pretty? Now what I had stitched, this was a Mania start for me, 2019 Mania start. And what I had done was this flower, and that's it. So I gave this one some love, 4 nights. And as you can see, was able to really knock out quite a lot. It's actually really close to being finished. So that took me all the way up to Memorial Day. And if you've been following me at all, like on Instagram or through my FlossTube, you will know that last year on Memorial Day, I started Paulette Stewart from Plum Street Samplers a new constellation that she had released in April. And I absolutely love Betsy Ross. I love that history. And when I saw that sampler, I was like, that's going to be my Memorial Day start. And so it was. I set myself a goal to finish it by Labor Day. And I finished it the day before Labor Day on Sunday. So I was very pleased with myself. I sent it off to Total Framing, had it framed, and it holds a place of honor. So my thought was, because Paulette and I discussed this via email and also in person when I was with her at the retreat in Amana last month, our love of Rhode Island samplers. I love a Rhode Island sampler. I love that style. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to stitch all of these that she is putting out. And so Heritage Sampler had already been released, of course, in 2016. And, oh, I hope I didn't. Let's see. Oh, yeah, here it is. So what I needed to do was go back and pick up Heritage Sampler and get that one stitched. And when I refer to Rhode Island Sampler, let me kind of back up and explain that a little bit, that style, for anybody who might not be aware what that style is. But a Rhode Island Sampler usually has kind of a story box in the center, okay? And then almost always will have some kind of an urn or floral design that runs up the sides and over, okay? And it came out, of course, Rhode Island. There was a school there in Providence. And if you go back a few videos ago, I actually did kind of a little bit of information session on Rhode Island samplers, but so I won't go into it in detail here. But anyway, so that's the style. This is the Heritage Sampler. And I started this on Memorial Day. Let me grab my board. I'm stitching all of these on Chantilly Cream by Lakeside Linens. And I did not iron this, I apologize. So this is a deep blue. This is actually Classic Colorworks Blacksmith Blue. I think it's kind of washing out a little bit. It's kind of hard to get that. So what I'm doing is stitching some of this, which is over 2. The flag is over 1. So I went up, did a little bit of that, came back down, finished up some more waves, and then I'll go back up now and do, the stars, the blue and the stars, and then I'll go back, probably, maybe head up this way. There's a lot of over 1 in this piece, so, all those words at the bottom are over 1, and Don't Tread on Me, which is, like a center block here, that's all over 1. So I'm going to work on some of that as I go, so that I'm not leaving myself with all of the over 1 work to do at the tail end. So anyway, what I will do with this one, again, my goal is to finish by Labor Day, is I will work on that on the weekends. Now, that being said, so many of us are participating in the Blackbird Weekend Sal, which is the first weekend of each month, and also stitching For the Love of Brenda along with it. So I just started on Monday, which was Memorial Day, the Heritage Sampler, and of course this would have been the first weekend to work on the Heritage Sampler. So what I did was I worked on it on Friday night, and then yesterday being Saturday, and then today on Sunday, I pulled out my April focus piece. This was my new start in April. This is Come Into My Garden, Blackbird Designs. I thought this was the perfect spring stitch. These guys here, these flowers, they kind of remind me of tulips and dahlias. And I really love this. So I pulled this one out for the weekend. And get my board. And here's my progress. Now, so since I have shown this to you last, which I did not work on at all until yesterday. So yesterday, now at the retreat, I didn't get much done. I was right here on this double lined border. I did go up and around, and I think I did a little bit of this, this flower set here, and that was it. So last night, I finished up the flower. I put in this motif. I went over to this side and did this grouping here. Now this afternoon, I'll finish this. This goes on up and has another little bird. And anyway, there you go. I really, really love this. Wait, it's crazy. Look how that changes colors. Ooh. Hope I'm not making you dizzy. That actually looks really representative of it right there. So I am stitching this one on 40 count Marbled Bunny by XG Designs. There's my threads. They look a little bit rough because obviously yesterday I was pulling threads out. But anyway, so that one it's just beautiful. I really, really love stitching on it. It makes me happy. And what does Brenda say? Stitch what you love, right? So there we go. There are my whips with 2 little finishes in there. On this, I stitched pretty much every day with the exception of this last Thursday, the 3rd. I didn't do any stitching, but after we did our post office run, which is around 5 o'clock, I came back and I was looking at some of the whips that I pulled out that I really need to get finished. And one of them, which I stitched I think 2 years ago, is Plum Street Sampler's Hello Summer from the Hello series, the spring, summer, autumn, or I think it's Hello Fall and Hello Winter. I had stitched Hello Winter and I fully finished it last year. Hello Summer has just been sitting around, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna jump off a scary ledge for me. One of the ladies, Susan Coates, who does some of the finishing for people through Keepsakes, she lives in Ohio. She was at the Midwest Cross Stitch Retreat in Amana, and on the brag table, she had a drum that she had done with Hello Summer, and her finishing is perfection. Mine is not even close, but I was so inspired by it, and she kept saying, a drum is easy, and I was like, okay, well, we'll see. So I pulled up Vonna's tutorial. Thank you very much, Vonna Pfeifer. And she says it's like an hour and 15 minutes. Well, we came back. I went right downstairs like about 5:30. And I will say that by 7 o'clock, I came upstairs and I showed my son, look what I finished. I made my first drum. And I was very excited. Now, there are a couple of things that I can look at it and see that I'm like, okay, next time I'll, maybe know to do this, or maybe next time I'll know to do that. But I was really very happy. And I just think that for this design, which is that, rectangular design, it just lends itself really well. And the other thing for me is that, I have limited wall space. I have a lot of my tabletops that I decorate with the vignettes are already kind of full. And so I didn't want to frame. But this it worked out perfectly. I did like Vonna said on the top. So it is, a pin cushion. I was going to use some velveteen at the top, and then I thought, well, this is my first foray into this drum making business. And so I thought, all right, I pulled out some old calico that I have, and top and bottom are done in the same, blue calico, but I thought it accented the blue here in the flag really well. And there it is. There's my drum, and I'm pretty happy with it. It is stuffed with a combination of fiberfill and crushed walnuts. And anyway, very, very happy. So that's my first drum. I'm no longer afraid of doing a drum finish, or intimidated maybe by doing a drum finish. And now you kind of start looking at other things, thinking, all right, what's kind of a design that would lend itself really well to that drum? It takes up, minimal space when you're adding it into, a vignette or something like that. I'll insert a picture of that where I have it setting with my things, and so you can kind of see how I, was able to add it into an existing display, and it seemed to fit, just well, very nice. I was really happy with it. So patting myself on the back a little bit, but so on along here. I'm kind of running a little long. We're already about 30 minutes. So if you watched me last week, you know that I had been asked to, if I was interested in purchasing a collection of a lady who is a prolific stitcher who had passed away. And I said yes. They sent me some pictures of some of the things, and I came back with just oodles and oodles, tubs and boxes, charts, kits, things like that. And that's kind of what I thought it was going to be. I had no idea until I got really digging in it that it was also whips and even some finishes that were just not FFO. They were just sitting around. And so I showed her some of them last week, and the response from everyone was really amazing. And I wanted to say thank you to those who expressed, gratitude to me for taking care of the collection. I have sent out some pieces to fellow stitchers who are, willing to and want to finish up some of her work, as well as I did have added some of the charts and some of the older sampler charts and things into, the vintage find section of the shop. And I'm just, it's been really an experience going through everything. I did finally, late Friday night, this past Friday night, finish up going through the very last tub. And there were a few more whips and a couple finishes that I really wanted to share with you again, because they're just beautiful. Now these, you can really see her journey. She was buying samplers as way back as the early 90s or 1990. But she also really loved full coverage pieces, which is just crazy. But the work that she did, you can tell she was obviously stitching on some Aida, some of the things that were available to us back then to stitch. We went from the Aidas to the even weaves. And so you can see her progression, through those things. But, on the even weaves, even when it was say a 25 or 28 count even weave, she was stitching a lot of these things over one at that time. And the work is just fantastic. So I just want to show you, I'm going to run through just a few, not many, but just to show you a couple of things. This book is, I thought I located a date, but maybe not. 1993. Okay. So this particular book, you see this, a touch of pink and a splash of yellow houses, right? And there's a splash of yellow. I'm gonna kind of keep this together as we go, but I'll try to move quickly. This one was a whip, so it is not completely finished. But can I just have you look at that? This thing is beautiful. Let's see. My board may not be quite big enough for the size of some of these, but since I'm backing up to the window, the light will go, there you can see a little better. A little bit better anyway. I mean, this thing is just, ladies, this is a BAP, right? It is big, but it is just beautiful. And her stitching, I mean, when you look at her stitching, it's just flawless. I mean, it really is flawless. It's just beautiful. So I wanted to show you that one. Now this one, I could not find a picture. All I could find was the pattern, but the pattern itself is actually signed by the designer. This is Black Swan, which is Karen Weaver. It's from 1994. This is the Serengeti Spirit. It says it's a #1 in the Guardians of Nature series. So I won't show, obviously the pattern, but I believe, because looking at the pattern and looking at this, and I went back and forth, I believe it's actually finished. And there's Krynic in here. There's, I don't think actual beading, like when you run your hand across, it's all, but, oh gosh, let me, you know what, maybe what I'll do is this, there we go, and see if that doesn't help. Well, you still can kind of see through. I'm sorry. I'm unorganized now. Okay, there we go. Look at that. So look at the angel and then the detail. And then that lion head. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? And she did all of this with 2 strands, and it looks to be, I was counting it out, it's a 32 count linen, like an antique ivory is what I believe it is. So she did 2 threads, over 2, and the work is just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. The next one is just, and the reason I'm showing this one is because it is just indicative. It's not super, fancy, but she did this orchid, I guess. Yeah, it's an orchid. Cattleya orchid. Okay. But she did it all with 1 thread over 1. And this is a 28 count. Now she clearly washed it, but I'm gonna work on trying to just press it out and maybe make like a little pillow. Sorry about that. That was Miss Sadie. She decided she wanted to get up and move around. So just her work is just amazing. The next 2 are from Prairie Schooler. There's book 37 and book 39. You can see she still had the floss in. This is Farmer's Market, and Holiday Harvest. Okay. So she was obviously working on those and probably going to, you know, maybe put them up or frame them or do it as a pillow together. She had not quite finished, had not quite finished this one. Oops, upside down. There we go. Now we got the carrot tops going the right way. Isn't that pretty? And this one, let's see, this one is the Holiday Harvest. The other one was the Farmer's Market. And this one is finished. Isn't that pretty? Really, really lovely stitching. This next one, I only have a couple more here. This next one is a Pat Rogers, and I think this is just classic. She bought this chart twice, so she just stapled them together, which I thought was a hoot that she did that. Kristen's sampler. And look at that. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So just beautiful, beautiful work. This is a Gloria and Pat designer. It's a pretty old one along memory lane. Okay. And she did hers on a navy blue Monaco. And it's all finished. Just never done anything with it. Isn't that pretty? It's just, it's really lovely. And it's all done over one. One thread over one. And the cool thing is since it was, you know, it's all done like that, all over one, there's no back stitch in this. Which you would kind of expect from the age, everything to actually have back stitching in this, but there's actually no back stitching. So, pretty cool piece. And this one is a Barbara and Cheryl. It's called A Perfect Setting. Isn't that beautiful? And here we go. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. The only thing that I've got to look at the pattern, but the only thing I think she did not finish, and maybe she thought she finished and missed it, because you know this is a full coverage piece and it's all done over one. There's a little bit right here in the center of this tree that's not filled in. And it looks to me, and then just a tiny bit in the house right here. And I don't know if maybe she was missing a color or something, but I mean, it is really beautiful. And so I'm going to have to try to kind of investigate and see, you know, because that would be a matter of sinking in, you know, maybe 30 stitches. But isn't that beautiful? Just gorgeous. Now this one, she had a lot of samplers that were from the Heart's Content, Maureen Appleton. So this book she had from Maureen, and it's actually signed by Maureen. She, you know, best regards, Maureen Appleton. So Maureen signed it. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that gorgeous? Now, she was in the middle of back stitching. Here's her thread right here where she was back stitching. And then over here on this side, you can see it's a page finish basically that needs to be done. But everything else is all complete. Isn't that gorgeous? Just beautiful. My son, I was showing this to him, and he goes, "How many stitches is that?" So I got the pattern and did the stitch count for him. I said, it's 136,070 stitches. And he was like, "You gotta be kidding." She did this whole thing over one. And it's on a 28 count, but over one. And it's just beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful. Now the last one that I'm going to show real quick, this is a real foray, I think, into some different things, but it kind of reminds me, obviously, of the Serengeti piece too. No picture for this one. I could only find the pattern, but my son loved it. And look at that. Is that not gorgeous? All that beading and a lot of Kreinik work. Isn't that beautiful? So really interesting departure from, looking at the big urn of flowers, the houses, the peaceful, setting, the serene setting, I think it's called, something like that. And then dragons. And anyway, it's very interesting to go through the journey with her. I feel like I've learned, some about her. It's just really been very inspiring. Anyway, so thank you so much for, going on that journey with me, and appreciating, the collection. I've been asked, do I feel like I'm a bit of a caretaker? Yes, the answer is definitely yes. I have picked out some things that I'm going to finish of hers, and I have actually already kind of set up a couple things to work on getting framed. And I'm also, gifting some things too. There's no way I can do all of this. And then all of these things aren't my style as well. So, as long as it goes to a stitcher, someone who appreciates it, who loves it, I'm happy. I'm happy about that. So anyway, I'm just going to do a quick little run through the last couple things here because we're getting a little long. I had some regular haul, as well as finishing up showing you my vintage haul. My husband and I, he was home this past, weekend for like 5 days over Memorial Day. And so we hit, some shops. Antiquing is kind of one of our favorite pastimes. And, of course, I've always got my eyes open for any kind of vintage sewing things, antique sewing things. I did get a couple of things that I'm not going to show because I have some really high up shelves that go across each side of the room opposite of each other in my sewing area. And I had bought a toy sewing machine. Well, my husband already put it up, and for me to get it back down, because our ceiling's very high, I actually have to have like a 6-foot ladder to get up there. So I didn't get it back down. But I am going to just show you a quick little, okay, little Sadie, you're going to see a tail. There we go. All right, move on. A couple of little items. Let me get my board back just so that we can even a little more easily see that. So this is like a little iron, and it's got the tape measure here. And it's a pin cushion in the top. It's an old made in Japan vintage, you know, late 50s, early 60s. So the handle is definitely an older handle, but I picked that up. I thought that was cute. Got a hoop. All velvet lined, spring load. Love that. Couple of bucks. And I got a strawberry and a couple other things that, again, have kind of already been put up into the display, so I didn't pull them out. But I also got this cute little bag, like a remnant bag. Has the pin cushion, you know, so you can throw this like over the your chair if you're sitting, you know, put it on one side and the pin cushion on the front side next to you, and throw your things in there. And guys, this was like $3. Just the most adorable, you know, look at that fabric. It's all like sewing tape, and then on the inside it's, you know, vintage sewing machine. And this has actually got some kind of a wire or something in the center to hold that. And this is definitely well stuffed. It's heavy. But I thought, wow, that's cute. I'm gonna definitely use that. You have to be, you know, Johnny on the spot on Fridays with Michelle's shop Under the Woolen Willow. And last Friday, which was her last Friday to do the morning releases. She's now releasing everything into her Etsy shop on Friday evenings. But I was able to get one of her English paper piecing pin cushions in the tart. So really cute, really cute. I really like that. I'm just kind of into pin cushions. And because I'm into pin cushions, I got another one of the tomato pin cushion bags from Buckleberry Quilts. Isn't that cute? And she always just does just a nice job of it's the same red on the inside, of packaging and sending it to you, and she throws in an extra, you know, little skein of coordinating, you know, floss. But Buckleberry Quilts, it's a shop on Etsy, and I'll put the information in the description box. And I found another lady, her shop is on Etsy as well. It's called Pam's Needles and Threads. And I gotta tell you, I bought 2 of her bags, really well priced, really nice big bag. Now, sometimes I like a bag without the vinyl front, and sometimes I want the vinyl front. Depends on what I'm stitching. If it's a shorter term project, I want to be able to see it. If it's a long-term project, I put it in a bag that does not have the vinyl front, and I use one of my tags. I think I probably, well, I can show you later. Sarah Brown is in like a solid bag, and I just have like a tag on it so that I know what's in there. But this bag, and look at the quilting, you can see, extremely well constructed. I get this one and this one. I just love this fabric. All quilted, super nice, great price. Bought it and it was shipped within like 36 hours, I think. It was pretty quick, you know, to come out. And that's Pam's Needles and Threads. Really, really nice bags. Take a look at her shop. Again, I'll post the information in the description box below. So anyway, so that's kind of it on the haul that I'm going to show you. Let's do the giveaway information. I gotta kind of move some things here, and then I'll do just a quick little couple of minute shop update. But if you're not interested in that, you can, you know, move along, and I'll see you next time. But I did not, last time, if you'll remember, I had put up my Village of Hawk Run Hollow for adoption, and the lady who won, I never heard back from. It's been 3 weeks, so I kind of feel like that's a long enough time for someone to have responded to the message or to watch the next video and see if they've won or not. So I went ahead and drew for a new adoption. And the winner on this one, and I'll insert, the picture that I do for the random comment picker, is Pat Matajic, maybe? Matajic? I'm not sure. I'm sorry so much, Pat. I'm butchering your last name. It's Matejcek, Pat. And again, I'll insert that picture. So if you are serious about an adoption, you please send me an email with your mailing information, and I'll get that right out to you. And I hope that you'll love finishing it. The second giveaway was from this last go round, and this is again a Heart's Content Maureen Appleton kit. It was for the English garden, and this was one of the kits that came in the stash that I picked up in Iowa. And the winner of this one, I had some beautiful comments, was Nancy Summa, or Summa, S-U-M-M-A, Nancy. So Nancy, if you will, please contact me and with the email address that I have in the box below, and send me your physical mailing address, and I will get this right out to you. And congratulations, ladies. I hope that you'll love stitching on both of those projects. I'm not gonna have a giveaway this time because I'm gonna be going on vacation in a couple of weeks, and so we would be getting into mid-July, that kind of thing. So I think I'll wait till I come back, and then I'm going to, I'll have some things to give away. In the meantime, if you are interested in the Serengeti piece that is complete, message me. And obviously it would need to be, framed, but message me, and I would be willing to send it to you. It's going to be kind of first come, first serve. But again, if you are interested in this piece, I'll show it to you again. Just message me. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna just run through a quick little shop update. If you wanna move on, that is fine. And thank you so much for sticking with me for as long as you have. And I look forward to seeing you again next time. Be sure to create every day, okay? So real quickly, the only thing I'm gonna do on as far as an update is, in the last 3-4 weeks, we've just had a plethora of new designs come out from several big designers, and I'm just going to kind of run through a few of those. There's been some, Plum Street, Hands On Design, Blue Flower, Liz Matthews, Lindy Stitches, Lila Studios, Summer House, Barbara Anna. I'm just going to show a few, Abby Rose, that you might be interested in. Lila Studio, she came out with 2 variations. This is the Busy Bee, the other one is Mrs. B's Apiary. And the colors in this are just really beautiful. So that is a new design. Well, Plum Street, I'm sure everybody is, very familiar with, the Equality Sampler, which released to the general public this month, or in May. This will be my next year's stitch. She also had Always Remember come out. Flag Flock was also in that release. Extremely popular, has already sold out, but I've already contacted Paulette, and I have a new bunch coming in. And I also went back and ordered some of her older charts as well, like Hallow Eden and some of those. So be watching the shop if you're interested in any of those. Let's see, Liz Matthews had 3 new releases. This was one that's very popular, My Home in the Garden, which is just beautiful. Look at the colors. Love that. Really, really pretty. She had another one, Clara Hansen. Let me tell you, those charts went into the shop and went right out of the shop. So I don't even have one to show you because it's all already gone. So I've already placed another order. I had a Fox and Rabbit shipment, a fabric latest shipment just come in again. So that was some replacement colors. So you can watch, check the shop for that if you're looking for something. And then the new one from Fox and Rabbit, Elizabeth Cooper, 1866. Oh, I should have taken this out. I'm sorry. I try not to take these apart since they're new charts. I don't want to ding the corners. But really, really cool. Love those butterflies. Look at those butterflies. Really, really neat. Neat design. Abby Rose came out with a really beautiful called Sisters Sampler. Now this reminds me a lot of the Come Into My Garden from Blackbird. But that's really pretty. And it's a 225 by 225 stitch count. So which is like 12.5 by 12.5 if you're doing it on 40 count. And she had stitched this on 40 count Legacy. So that's really pretty. Now, Barbara Anna has come out with a Dream Girl series. There's been Dreaming Girl, Dreaming Frida, and then this one just came out this last week, Garden of Dreams. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Very different series, but very, very popular. And this one will be in the shop this afternoon. And I think I mentioned Blue Flower. Janine gave us the Strawberry Bird, which I really love that. Love those birds. Just a cool summer stitch. And then I count not my day complete till needle, thread, and fabric meet. Isn't that neat? I really like that one too. And she uses the coolest little animal motifs in each of her corners, but with unusual animals, which I enjoy that. I love that. And then of course we all know she just does a fantastic job with the butterflies. Butterflies and bees. So there's a couple. There's more in the shop if you want to, take a look. Feel free to do so. I'm still slowly working on getting some of the vintage samplers into that section. I've got a whole pile of magazines that are in really, really good condition, that are some really old ones as well that have some really cool designs and samplers and things like that in them. So I'll try to work on getting those into the shop. And that's about it. So thank you so much for sticking with me. I appreciate every one of you. I hope you have a blessed Sunday afternoon. If you're stitching on some Blackbird this weekend, be following you on Instagram if you're posting, if you're on there, and I'll be posting my progress here this afternoon as well. And, thank you again, and have a great day. Bye-bye now.